Days fly by and they feel so fast.
Thanks for tuning in. This is Matt Santos of the Mile High Show. You're listening to episode number 198, and this is a pleasure and a treat for all of you listeners because you don't have to hear me. You get to hear Jim Sobo, one of our most recent guests, taking over the podcast for the Howling Coyote Radio Hour, and he is sitting in his living room, packed out with a bunch of local musicians. Just sit back and enjoy Jim Sobo of the Howling Coyote Tour taking over the mics of the Mile High Show for episode 198. Oh, and don't forget, use that Amazon link. All you musicians out there, you got to buy mic cords, you got to buy mics, you got to buy clips, you got to buy picks, you got to buy anything. Use the Amazon link at milehighshow.com. Also, go there and check out the archives where you could hear my conversations, which are nowhere near as good as tonight's, with local musicians from around the Prescott and Arizona scene. So take it over, Jim Sobo and his guests at the Howling Coyote Radio Hour. Thanks for tuning in.
Let those days go by. I keep counting my blessings to see if they're messing my mind. Yet here you stay.
Welcome to the first ever Howling Coyote Tour Radio Hour. I am your host. My name is Jim Sobo, and the beautiful music that you hear playing behind me at this moment is Mr. Tommy Anderson, who just went on the last tour of the Howling Coyote Tour, and I'll explain all about the Howling Coyote Tour for you. 13 years ago, I moved to lovely Prescott, Arizona, not Prescott, Prescott, and basically fell in love with local singer-songwriters, local performers, and I was actually astonished throughout the state how much great talent that there is. And so I couldn't be the only person in the entire world to know about all of these great people. So being that I used to play up in the San Francisco Bay Area for many years, I decided to create a showcase where I could take these great performers into the San Francisco Bay Area and showcase them north, south, east, and west, hopefully get a little bit of radio and a little bit of press and create something amazing. And for some reason, when I called people, they would actually book the concepts. I don't know why, I don't know how it happened, but I've been very grateful and humble and blessed ever since to be able to present the Howling Coyote Tour now for 13 years in the San Francisco Bay Area. And recently, I started doing this show here in Prescott. I never saw the purpose of doing it here in Prescott because why showcase local artists that are already playing as local artists, but then I found that no matter what, there's that was Tommy Anderson, by the way, just impromptu intro for our first show. But musicians playing with each other, off of each other, watching each other, being inspired by each other. It doesn't really matter where I do the show. It still kind of works. So I'm very, very, very blessed and lucky tonight to have on my very first show Mr. Tommy Anderson, who just played that intro. Hi, Tommy.
How's it going, Jimmy James?
How are you, sir?
God, it's been a long time.
I know it has. It's
been since July.
Yeah, since I saw
Mid-July.
so much of you though that it just soaked into me, and it's lasted for the last.
I thought you were going to say that I was just sick of you, and I didn't want to see you for another 6 months.
And from that last tour, the 13th tour, it was Mr. Tommy Anderson and Ms., the first Ms. ever on the Howling Coyote Tour, Ms. Rosemary Tracy. Hi, Rosemary.
Hi, Jim. Good to be here.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much for blessing us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
With your presence. Very quickly, only because he's the next one here, this is Mr. Matt Santos, and Matt has produced Mile High Radio here in Prescott as a podcast. He is an inspiration in the community. I'm very lucky and blessed to be able to do this show because of Matt. Next in line, Mr. Sean Patrick McDermott.
Yes, hello.
How are you?
I'm excellent this evening, thank you.
Excellent. First time I saw Sean was at a place here in Prescott called The Point, the same place that I saw Rosemary, and both of them I was just sitting there sipping a beer and just like, hello.
Thank you, man.
How are you?
Well,
I need to meet you.
I was very fortunate that you were there that night. So.
No. It was great. Yes, I had. There's 2 dogs in the room, and some of them might be bothering some of our very special guests tonight. Next in line, Mr. Nikolai Canuel.
Hello.
Nicholas. How
How's
are
it
you,
going,
sir?
Jim?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Nick
Is busy getting
actually was
attacked
on
by your
the
chihuahua.
4th Howling Coyote Tour. I was lucky enough to do it was the one and only Prescott's Got Talent in downtown Prescott at the courthouse. And first and second place were yourself and your former writing partner.
Yeah.
And the other gentleman was Richie Hart.
Yeah.
From Tombstone.
Yeah, that was a funny thing. We didn't know it was a contest until 5 minutes before we went on stage. My partner in my duo at the time, his mom told us it was an open mic and that, oh, well, they need people. So we're like, oh, crap, we'll sign up. And as we're going on, they're like, by the way, it's a contest. I'm like, oh, well, we didn't know that. And then we won accidentally.
Yeah. And because I'm a musician, of course, I picked 2 other musicians.
Of course, yeah.
And I took you both on the 4th tour.
Yeah.
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 So he's Nick is actually an alumni, but somehow Nick and Sean cross paths, and we will talk about that as well.
Cool.
And you guys now are kind of a formal duo.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
2 amazing songwriters in your own right.
Yeah,
Appreciate that. Yeah.
All right.
Thank
So Nick, you're going to be the lucky one.
Uh-oh.
To start answering questions.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, most of the time I think we'll just go off the cuff, but I am actually so nervous.
Yeah, you've got
right
like
now.
a list and everything. You've got the whole bit here.
The premeditated.
Yeah, you're all bona fide and legit here and everything.
So my favorite DJ, I'm just going to give a shout out. Back in the 1970s, was on KMET. His name is Jim Ladd. Now he's on Sirius XM on Deep Tracks. But just going to give a shout out to Jim Ladd. Love you, man. All right. So, first question. When did music come into your life?
It was there before me. Both my parents played. And so at 5 years old, I decided I wanted to start playing piano. And we had this beautiful, gorgeous Baldwin baby grand piano. And the first thing I ever learned was, do you remember the Meow Mix commercials? The Meow Meow song? Yeah.
Meow, meow,
Yeah,
meow,
that's the first thing. I learned how to play that on a Baldwin baby grand piano when I was, exactly that. Yeah, so it just started in, what is that, 96, I think. Learned how to play that, and then a couple years later, this thing with a bunch of strings on it, weird. It's ugly or pretty head, depending on what you're looking at. And, 20 years later, here we are.
Amazing. All right,
Sorta
so we're going to do in the round questions. That is going to be tonight's format here on the first Howling Coyote Tour radio hour. So Tommy Anderson, when did music come into your life?
You know what? I found music roughly about the same time that I found girls and marijuana. So it was a trifecta. So I grew up on a farm in
Are
Minnesota.
we allowed to say that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's legal in some states.
Right, that's true.
Some states.
It's just those 7 deadly words.
Yeah.
Carlin, George Carlin.
Yeah. Yeah. So I grew up on a farm in Minnesota. So, and I used to listen to AM radio. So from about 250 miles away was Chicago and WLS radio. So I used to listen late at night, but my parents, really didn't. There was no music in our house. So I would listen to radio really quiet and lay down on the floor with a pillow by the speakers and have it really quiet and listen to WLS. And like I say, that's the summer of love, I guess you would call it, finding a super hot girlfriend and finding some weed and listening to WLS radio. And, that's enough to bump anyone off the farm. So that's when I knew I wasn't going to be a farmer.
Oh my Lord! I spent a full week with Tommy Anderson, and actually every moment of his life was actually just like that. It's amazing. He's like a myth and a legend, but he's right there. He's right in your face, and you're like, you just will be talking about him when he leaves the room, because how can you not? Okay. Rosemary Tracy.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
When did music come into your life?
Oh, God. I also am very nervous, so just so you know.
Yes, we are all very intimidating people here.
Well, I would have to say I went through the church route. I was in the church choir, school choir. I finally started playing guitar at around 14 or 15, kind of a little bit later. I played piano and clarinet and all that crazy nerdy stuff. But guitar, my dad ended up giving me like 3 music lessons, I think. And I think we got in a big fight after that. So after that, we both just kind of separated to our own corners in the house and like played our own music. But that really just kind of, both of my parents played. My mom, piano, my dad, guitar. And then they just kind of like helped me out. I went to a couple open mics, met the right people there. And that's kind of, the rest is history, I guess.
Excellent.
So,
Thank you.
222. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
is it? Great. Cool.
Yeah, we've got some other people in the room. There is Tommy's love of his life, Joan. And then we also have John, who is Rosemary's husband, who actually was the 5th Beatle on this last
He was the
tour.
transporter as well.
He did
Dang.
everything. He
Tour
worked the
manager.
door. He dealt with mental health in the room.
He packed the van.
Packed
Yeah.
the van,
John the Tesselator.
carried
Yeah.
gear,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
got us
right.
to gigs on time.
Yeah.
All right,
You're
Mr.
hired.
Sean Patrick McDermott.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, when did music come into your life?
Yeah. So, well, I'm also nervous. So there's that. I'm going to throw that in here. It's always sitting and talking down into a mic within this.
It's
this
a weird thing.
Totally different.
It is a
for
weird
me.
thing. And the first time I actually did it was with Matt,
Oh yeah.
and it's a skill.
Yeah. It throws me way off.
No, it's a performance art.
Can do it for
Absolutely,
3
yeah.
hours with a guitar, but when it's just you on a couch.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
And the guitar's sitting here, but it's like I
Yeah.
want to be playing. No. And so Anyway, I at some point my parents put a little like Casio keyboard in the living room, and I think I was 5, and I started digging around with it. And at some point I had learned for release by watching it had the little screen and the things, and I learned that, and they said, oh, we should get him lessons. So they got me lessons, and then I got a flute in the 6th grade that I played forever, and then I got a guitar in the 8th grade.
Flute.
I played a cello later on. Yeah, I played flute for like 6 years.
Yeah,
I hate that
those-
thing now.
They were so cool, though.
Oh, terrible. Oh, I was the coolest
I
kid.
hated myself for not being able to
I
play.
was-
I'm like, how much of an idiot am I that I can't play a flute?
Yeah, man, come on.
And they're the coolest instruments.
Yeah.
I mean, Ian
The
Anderson.
versatility is
Yeah.
just. Yeah. No, I hate those things now, but I did play one for a while. And anyway, my parents were very encouraging, and I never thought I would actually be a musician. I always thought I was going to write. I tried to write fantasy stories when I was a kid, but now I write weird fantasy songs and things, so that works instead.
Yeah, yeah. You don't know how the music, how your life leads into it, and then how you end up living through it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's taken over completely.
I mean, but the various skills that you had prior to it, how they become applicable to being, a song crafter.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm really fascinated with the science of sound and acoustics. That's something that kind of gets me going. So
You're a little bit of a luthier or guitar.
I won't
builder.
claim to be that. I've
A
assembled
luthier, right, is more.
I've assembled 2
acoustic.
guitars. I've not made any guitars, but I work on guitars. I call myself a novice guitar tech. Maybe intermediate.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think the
not.
word tech is underrated.
I'd love to be a luthier.
Everybody's a
sometime.
tech now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, so I think it's time for some more live music.
Absolutely.
Being that we're doing this in the round, I'm going to start with Tommy because that was just an intro and you had to do that, and it wasn't a full song, and so it just wouldn't be right if I didn't let you play now. And you just happen to be sitting there.
And I just happen to be sitting in front of the mic.
with the guitar.
Yeah.
So, Tommy, please play us a song, sir.
All right. Well, you know what? I wasn't sure what I was going to be playing tonight, but you said keep it raw, so here's one of these songs, and so this one's called "I Can't Reach You," and I wrote this about a year ago.
I've always kept myself out at arm's reach, and now you've done the same. You're here to teach me I can reach you. Still I cannot walk away. No, I can reach you. Still I cannot walk away. Look into the mirror. Look real deeply and look into your eyes. Can you see me? Can you just walk away? Leave me hanging, so close yet so far. I feel you deeply, but I can't reach you. Still I cannot walk away. No, I can't reach you. Still I cannot walk away. Going off to bed all alone, and you're so far away. Still you're on my phone. I could call you, would not reach up to just stare into your phone, and then I'd hang up. No, I can reach you, but I cannot walk away. No, I can reach you. Still I cannot walk away. No, I can reach you. No, I can reach you. No, I can't reach you. No, I can reach you.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I could tell your dogs are digging it because his tail is wagging like crazy, man.
Yes. Live performance art here in Prescott, Arizona. So in case there's anyone that ever listens to this outside of Prescott, Arizona, Prescott, Arizona is a mile-high town. It's somewhere between the Phoenix area and Flagstaff, a little west of there. And it's surrounded by forest and lakes and beautiful rock formations and saguaro cactus, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place. And I encourage everyone to come here and check out the great original singer-songwriters you can find here and throughout the state. All right. It is time for question number 2. All right. Nick, hello.
Hello again.
All right, this is easy. This is really easy. The first one was, how did music come into your life? And logically, the second question should be, is what did it mean to you, and what does it mean to you now?
I mean, it was sort of just the whole thing for me. I mean, like I said, both my parents played. My mom and dad both played several instruments, and there was just always guitars and pianos and drums and all kinds of stuff just around the house. And it's, frankly, the only thing I was ever good at.
Right?
Like, even to now, like my day job, you know, I have a full-time day job, but I still work with sound and with audio and stuff in that life. So no matter what I'm doing, it's always around the idea of sound, no matter what it is. And it's the only thing that ever clicked and made real sense to me. Like, I'm not an artist. I can't draw or paint or anything like that. I can make a stick figure look like it has leprosy. But, you know,
I didn't know that was possible.
it's really bad.
That actually sounds pretty impressive.
It's
I
not
guess
as
you
good
just-
as you might think.
You
It's
just do
kinda
everything in
sad.
dots, basically. So
Yeah,
the
pretty
stick
much. It's
figure,
terrible.
Like
So-
every other dot is
Yeah,
gone.
so music for me was just, you know, the ultimate communicator. It was the way to just to put it out there, and it was the one thing that made sense. It was the one thing I always came back to, you know, with all the other instruments I play and everything. It just sort of was the thing I dove into head first.
It just clicked.
Yeah, it made sense. You know, it couldn't not.
That's beautiful.
I love it.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Tommy Anderson, what did it mean to you when music came into your life back then, and what does it mean to you now?
You know what? That's a good question. And, you know, like I say, I grew up on a farm, and we didn't have any music on the farm. Like, there was just no music. And so I was lucky enough to have a stereo up in my room. And you know what? It just transported me. It was just like it's saving grace. And so once again, since I came across girls and the weed at the same time, right? So then you hear songs on the radio, and it just means it's like, oh, they wrote that song about me. Like, I remember hearing I'm Not in Love by 10cc, and oh my God, it just ripped my heart out of my chest. And it's like, oh man. And then you start listening to other songs, and it's like, oh my God, they wrote that about me. And then, you know, that's when you learn that when you're writing songs, if it's true for you, it's going to be true for a lot of people, you know, as long as you go for the truth. And, you know, so it kind of transported me, and it still does. So I tell you what, on long, hard, tough days, I come home, I play music. I love to play music. I do the weirdest things. So I was out playing probably 175 nights this year. And, but I get home from a gig. You would think after you played for 3 hours, you're going to get home and just relax, you know, whatever. No, I get home and I play, and I'll play till 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. You know, I just love music. It just takes you away. It makes the world very, very small. So right now there's all this craziness going on, and Trump, and everybody's crazy, and you don't know what's going on. And all of a sudden the world just gets about 2 feet circumference around you, you know, when you're doing music. And all that stuff goes away. You're in your little safe spot. So, yeah. So it's my safe, happy place.
Amen.
Hey,
Brother,
can I hear an amen? Hallelujah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. AM radio.
Yeah.
KFJ, I believe, was my AM radio station, and I think one of the first things I ever heard on that was like the Jackson 5.
I still do a Jackson 5 song.
Oh, baby, give me one more chance.
Yeah, and
show you my love.
And then 10cc and just this other like insanely good pop back then.
One-hit
was
wonders.
really
Just
what we
great,
call
man.
kind of soft rock now, I suppose. But
Jeez,
but
that's fun.
I mean,
I love that stuff.
Andrew Gold and
Oh,
just
sure. Andrew Gold.
just started, you know, and then it was, suddenly I was like, what is and why do I like this so much? And why am I suddenly so happy?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Rosemary,
Yes, sir.
what did it and what does it?
Oh, what did it mean? Oh man, when music found me, it was just cool. Like, it was just a culmination of just identity. I got up on, it was a stage, it was an open mic, and I played my first original in front of people, and something just clicked. And it was the coolest feeling. Nothing else could really compare. I talk to my husband sometimes about his BMX stuff. Like, sometimes that one thing that just grabs you, it just is what you are. So what it means now, I'd actually kind of not been doing a lot of music. I opened a salon a few years ago, and when Jim found me, when music again found me.
She's got great hair.
Right now it's different colors of pink and purple. But when Jim found me, he kind of busted through my, oh my God, I was such a robot. I was a workaholic at that point, and we went on this tour, and since we got back, I've been playing at least one show every month, and it just kind of, thank you, Tommy, that was you as well, thank you, and it just kind of was a huge tap on the shoulder of identity. This is who you are. This is what you are, and as long as you know what you are, like, you can do anything in life. I mean,
I don't know what I am.
yeah, you're a musician. So
Okay.
yeah, so just identity.
You
I
are
would
the
say.
last in the room, my friend.
All right, I'm ready.
Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, again, this is Sean Patrick McDermott.
The full
In
name,
case-
I
and
appreciate.
that was Rosemary Tracy.
Thank you.
So, Sean, what did music mean to you when it came into your life, and what does it mean to you now?
Yeah, it kind of snuck up on me over time, but I really looking back, I realize I made friends with the group of guys when I got to middle school in 6th grade, and they were the right kind of weird. They were my kind of weird, and we got really close. And one of them's in town visiting right now, actually. But
We're all freaks.
yeah, and then one of the other ones got married in Scottsdale a couple nights ago. I was down there. But yeah, it was great. But anyway, they were all much better musicians than I was. I had just been playing piano for like 2 years, and I just started the flute thing. And one of these, yeah, flute, yeah. You want to know? Okay, here's why. I'm going to talk about it. I wanted to play sax, tickled my mouth too much, couldn't do it. I could not deal with a reed.
Thank you for that.
And,
Yeah, thank you.
And so I was like, well, jazz, so flute, right? Great thought process, worked out great. But anyway, yeah. So a buddy of mine from back then, now he's in Nashville playing piano, and he was really the guy that drove me to be a better musician. He was so good at the piano that I stopped trying to be good at that and started trying other things, and that forced me into guitar, and I'm very thankful for it. Now it's all I think about. It's just, it kind of occupies my entire thought space without me ever trying, for that to happen. But I try to make as much of my work, related to that as possible, which has been pretty successful lately. So, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, there's something called art. So there's kinesthetic intelligence, there's analytical intelligence, and there's artistic intelligence. And when you have artistic intelligence, that's why it makes sense to you. You can see the formulas, just like someone that studies science or chemistry or something.
It's all
it just
pattern.
all makes complete sense.
Pattern recognition.
And,
I mean, the more you hear things and can I assign a name to that concept or
Right.
whatever, the more it makes sense and your ears get better. And that's
worst thing ever is coming up with a song spontaneously. I don't know, where you're walking down the street and not having an instrument and not having something to write on, and it's just. It's just weird. It just pops into your head like all of a sudden, you're like, huh, that'd be kind of a cool idea.
Try to keep singing until you get home. That's
Right?
it.
Yeah, exactly. Now we
Try
have,
not to
we have our cell phones. Right. All right. So it's time for another live performance, ladies and gentlemen. Getting bored with talking. It's time for Rosemary Tracy to get up on the mic and play us a song. So Rosemary and Tommy. Both came with me on the last Howling Coyote Tour for 2018, our 13th tour, and are going to be playing with me at Mark's Beer Garden this Friday night. A week from, yes. 1/11, Friday, the 11th of January, from 6 to 9 p.m., and have a great time. Just hanging out down there. It's a great place. Hope you check it out. Nick and Sean played with me at my very first Howling Coyote Tour show that I decided to do in Prescott, and I was really worried about that. I didn't know how the show was going to turn out or anything of the sort, and it was outstanding. It was outstanding.
It was fun.
Yeah, we had a great time.
I mean, just such great energy. People that I would think wouldn't be into my concept. Were really into it. Everybody was really.
It was a good crowd. They really enjoyed it,
and that gave me a tremendous amount of hope. So,
the response was very positive.
Right.
Yeah.
People here really do love.
I still
live
might have a
local
chance.
Music.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good spot for actually
It is. It's
making
like,
a showcase out of it.
And the inside is intimate, and during the summer they have a deck outside, so that will create a whole other atmosphere. All right, well. Rosemary has her guitar in her hand, and there's a mic in front of her. So let's see what happens here.
Oh, God. Let's see what happens. So this is an original called It's Gonna Be Fine, which is what I'm going to tell myself before we do this live song here. I think I wrote this about 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, it's just a simple kind of bluesy song. Here we go. I'm tired and I'm broken down, and I got rain in my eyes when I look up and holes in my soul when I look down. And I windswept, carried along in the clouds, and I'm pissed off and bloodshot and ain't got nowhere to lay my worries down now. And I just know in my heart of hearts, in the back of my mind, well, it's gonna be fine. The hands that guide me are not mine. If I can just hold my ground when I can't walk a straight line, it's gonna be just fine, yeah. My heart is happy, woo, though my body might cry. And life, as they say, can slip quick, flip the switch and be, but so can I. I didn't say it. And I'm stronger for any hills I might climb. And I'm not here alone now, and each hand I hold out will come back to me in my sweet time. And I just know in my heart of hearts, in the back of my mind, well, it's gonna be fine. The hands that guide me are not mine. If I can just hold my ground when I can't walk a straight line, it's gonna be just fine. You can rest easy. Don't let your worry make you old. Take a breath in, no breath will quite taste the same. And tell me how many hours your fingers can hold. So just let them go. Let go, let go, let go. I'm tired, and I worry sometimes, but it's true. For me and for you, it's gonna be just fine. Thank you. Thanks.
I insist you let me know when you're playing.
Okay.
Seriously, you
Thank
said,
you.
was it Mark's Beer Garden on the 11th? Is that what it is?
On the 11th, yeah.
Yeah.
Friday.
Okay.
That's,
Yeah, so even the guests want to come to the show now.
Yeah,
well,
that was
guys-
excellent.
Hey,
Yeah.
thank you.
That was
Oh my
excellent.
God. Well, I'm also playing on the 19th at the Meadery too, and if
heck
you
yeah.
guys ever want to jam,
Yeah, we'll
please.
be there.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yes.
So now you know why Tommy and I sucked on the last tour.
That is so not true. You guys are like Obi-Wan and whoever else was not Darth Vader. Like, neither of you were. I think I was Darth Vader on that.
No, I'm Eastern European. I'm more like a Chewbacca. Yeah.
Jim, I gotta let
You're
you
Han
know that
Solo.
like in the future, you gotta end with this.
Yeah, put her
man,
last.
Because now Sean and I are not.
We have to follow that.
You have no
Yeah,
idea
guys,
how
man.
intimidated.
Halfway through.
Whatever.
Come on, yeah, whatever is right.
Jeez.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
saw you guys. I saw
Well,
these two guys play actually at the Point on our anniversary. Yeah, the 21st, and they were phenomenal. So,
Yeah. It's
be
as,
here
as
in the
close
same
to
room.
Queen
Pretty
actually
cool.
as
You should join
can,
us next
as
time, though.
you
I'd
can
love
get.
to.
Yeah, you should come out
I'd
next
love
time.
to.
It'll be fun.
And likewise.
Okay. All right. So
Sorry.
now it's time for question number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the very first Howling Coyote Tour show.
Yes, thank you.
Radio Hour. Thank you, Matt Santos. Should we be taking a break? Are we about there? Or no? Okay. Excellent. All right, we are moving on. Next question. Nick is always number
Hello
one.
again.
Yes.
You're
All right.
leaving my mic over there.
Yes. All right. So, were you influenced by radio? Like, did you?
You know,
was it something that I know that some of the artists have already said what that meant to them.
It's kind of funny in that no, and I really shouldn't say that because I literally have a show on a radio station. I work in radio 40 plus hours a week, and I really shouldn't admit this publicly. But no, I mean, it was there.
Yeah.
But like, I was aware of it, but no, I mean, like,
Did you research these questions?
I really, yeah, no, I mean, basically, there's been this game in my with my parents since I was, knee high to a grasshopper. Of the song comes on, you go, all right, who did that song? And it could be some weird off the wall like who did it in the summertime? Oh, that's Mungo Jerry, and that's in the summers exactly. So with that sort of thing, the radio just sort of reinforced it. If I heard something weird that I didn't know what it was, I'd call my dad and go, I feel like I should know this. So like I remember calling him once in high school about who did that song. There's never been any reason. It's Head East because Shazam didn't exist back in the day. But no, radio once in a while, I'll catch something on there that I go, oh, that's kind of a cool thing. I haven't heard that before. But no, I mean, I was already good at knowing classic rock and stuff like that growing up, and so
well, you instead of having somebody is a radio when you're growing up.
Yeah, and it was my
whether
parents.
It's your So
it was my mom
playing
telling me at 3 years old
and
that I was going to be a Beatle fan, whether I liked it or not. Yeah.
They were the programmers of that station, and that's what you listened to.
Yeah, my brother and I thought rap was cool in 1994, and my mom decided that we didn't.
Right.
And so now I'm a huge Beatle freak.
And and the reason why I'm asking this question is because I'm dating myself, actually, kind of, by asking about radio, right? I am older, and I was so influenced by that AM radio station, and then going on to these wild FM stations with these freeform, FM DJs that were just going crazy on my mind. Like, oh my dear Lord, what is going on? And so
I try to play weird stuff on the radio because it's fairly formulaic in FM, and I've got to be careful what I say here because that's my boss who gives me a paycheck. But I try to at least one song a day. I try to make it weird.
Thing, it's a generational thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we got music when we were growing up. And then a good portion of the population now, that's not how they receive music anymore.
Exactly. I have a feature where I highlight. I have a day. It's a different thing each day, and Tuesdays every day is called B-Sides and Rarities Day. That's the day where, like, I'll play. Sure, here's a song by I don't know, like Cake, but it's not going to be Short Skirt Long Jacket or something like that. It's going to be a song called Dime or whatever off of their, what is that, 03 album. You know, like I try to get the weird stuff in there, you know.
Yeah,
if I'm
it's
playing
so important.
Credence, I'm not going to play Proud Mary. I'm going to play Bootleg or something, you know.
so
play some
important.
weird stuff, you know, get it out there.
Yeah.
I try to at least one a day on the radio make something weird.
Excellent.
Because someone's got to do it, right?
All right, so in our circle at the moment, Rosemary is completely to the left of Nick.
That's my right, Jim.
Is it? Okay,
To the left
it's
of
my
you.
left. All right, so yeah, I'm sorry.
You're close. You had two
that was-
options.
Jim drove on the tour.
Stage left.
Exactly.
You know, just as long as people laugh at me,
Jim
life
drove
is
until
good.
John drove.
All
Laughing
right,
with you,
yeah,
not at you.
okay.
We're laughing
Life
at your
is
vicinity.
good. Okay, so same question. Did you listen to radio when you were young, or
Yes.
does radio like have any influence, or
Yes.
what was your musical landscape like? What were you listening to when you were growing up?
Man, yes, radio absolutely had everything to do with the outside world, because I grew up in a smaller town in Alaska called Palmer, which is actually about an hour north of Anchorage. Yeah, Tommy's making a rock on hand because you've been where
I've been there.
Elmendorf,
Yeah,
Anchorage.
I was in the Army
Yes,
in
that's
Alaska,
right.
so
Uh-huh.
I've been to Palmer.
Yeah, so and he's been to Palmer and everything. But yeah, we had 5 channels on the TV, and radio. We had one really good rock station and one really good pop station then, and it saved me. I would fall asleep listening to it. I would wake up listening to it. It was just, I don't know. It was the way to find. At that point, we didn't have things like like Apple, like iTunes and all of that craziness. You just had the radio. So I remember running into the kitchen with a cassette tape in the tape deck, just waiting all day for that one song to come on, just so I could hit record on my tape, so I could play it in the tape deck. So all my songs in high school were like 3 seconds shy of the very beginning, because I'd run in to try to record them. Didn't have money to buy
Do
it.
you guys
then,
remember
so-
mixtapes?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
made them.
I know Matt had
Made
some
them.
mad mixtapes.
Oh, damn it, Sean.
Out there, sorry. my mixtapes were iTunes playlists.
Yeah.
iTunes playlist.
That is
yeah.
my
I
that is
know.
my age.
I was looking to
Oh,
my
man.
right again. Yeah, I'm
Oh, man.
obviously directionally challenged, but there's some gentlemen in the room that might be of my decade.
I think I'm older. I'm older than you, aren't I?
No,
Yeah.
a year.
I'm 16 forever though. I tell
You're
you what.
yeah,
Absolutely.
you're the
I stopped aging.
Absolutely.
yeah,
long
you're
time ago.
definitely arrested development.
weed.
Yes.
All right,
It's a preservative, I think.
okay. So you've already answered this, but I'm going to ask you again. Tell me about radio.
Well, let me expand upon that. So, yeah, I was listening to radio, like I say, WLS, Chicago, right? And
snazzy.
so that really got me clicking, right? But then some city folks moved out to the country. His name is David Shada. He was my best friend. So all the Shadas moved out there. They were city folk. So they come out there. So I go down to their house and... yeah, now we're listening to Ted Nugent. I tell you what, Cat Scratch Fever, Free For All album. Like, the reason I play guitar is because of Ted Nugent doing Free For All. That record just kicked ass. And then
And
Cat
these
Scratch
days, he
Fever
makes
comes-
some amazing antelope burgers.
Yes, and you know what? If it would have been nowadays, wouldn't have been a Ted Nugent fan. But back then, I tell you what, Free For All, that whole record, man, just kills you. Then we started getting into Frank Zappa. Which is, so then I'm going from the nice, pretty AM songs. Now I'm getting into Zappa. And then we got into Yes. And then Yes gets you into Genesis. Then Genesis takes you down the whole
At this
prog
point,
thing.
ladies and gentlemen, Tommy's mind has been officially blown.
Yep. And then, of course, Rush. So when I moved to Alaska, I started playing guitar. And so I wanted to play Rush. I had no idea that they were the world's hardest band. I just thought guitar was extremely difficult to play. It's like, how hard
What a
is
great
this
attitude.
instrument, right? And I was doing Rush, trying to do Rush note for note.
Was it Working Man? Is that what you? Is that what you?
That was off their first album with Rutsy Collins, their first drummer. Yeah, but we were doing So then I went to audition for my first band in Alaska, and I auditioned on guitar, and they said, you know what, you suck on guitar, you're going to be the bass player. So it's like, fine, I'll be the bass player. So I still play bass to this day. But that was what got me down the path. So I was playing guitar, and now I'm playing bass. Then I figured, you better pick up other instruments. Then it's like, you better pick up banjo, and then you better pick up, dobro. Then you better pick up piano, and then...
I hate you multi-instrumentalists. You make me sick. I'm looking at Nick as well. And Sean. Sean! So did you ever listen to radio? And if not, what was your musical landscape?
No, not really. And my parents even didn't really. We listened to, we had, Eagles and Dire Straits and Norah Jones and John Mayer at the same time. So I didn't know what was how old.
That all sounds really good.
Yeah, it was good stuff. My parents had pretty good taste, I think. My mom listened to a lot more country than I care to admit, but, that's all right. It was Texas. That's okay. I grew up in Houston, so.
There's great country out there, though.
Oh, there's lots of great country out there. You just don't hear any of it on the radio right now.
Yeah,
so,
you
got a couple guys now,
in fact, just to say that is, I just came back from Austin, and
you got quality out there, man.
Yeah, but we've known many, many great country artists, or what would be categorized as country artists, that are just phenomenal songwriters and just pour their hearts and souls out there. And that's the stuff that's not the commercial stuff, but the other stuff. That
it's some of the absolute best songwriting for sure. But it's the current state of the country music industry is a bit of an issue. It causes the songwriting to get stale because there's it's the same six guys sitting in a room writing everything.
Cut in deeper, man. You got to get deeper. You just got to find the.
Now there's
some really good stuff out there.
Well, now I'm listening to like Sturgill Simpson and Jason Isbell.
There you go.
Yeah, those guys are great. But they're not part of that.
What we call Americana now.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, they call. I think Sturgill says outlaw country is his thing.
Right. Yeah.
I like that term.
But basically, it's undefinable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just good music, good songwriting.
Music. Exactly.
And
it doesn't matter.
Isbell's a heck of a guitar player,
right.
too.
Throw that guy and Bob Dylan and and Cat Stevens in the same room, and they'd all just be chilling out, just hanging out, playing tunes for each other.
Yeah. It's just quality. Yeah. Oh, he's not even on the mic. He's fine. It's fine. Nobody heard that one. Nobody heard that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I just, not much radio, but, yeah.
No, yeah. Sounds amazing. All the three of the people that you first said, are such. That's what's exciting is that, and that's why I continue this tour year after year, is there's always new inspiring stuff out there. There's people out there making music, playing music, writing music, singing music, creating, and
the access is so easy now.
It's what translates with me as hope.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like there's still hope for this planet as long as we've got people creating out there and speaking individually, independently, originally. Yeah. Not playing other people's music, but creating. I think we're going to be okay. As long as we've got that going on. All right, so it's time for another performance.
Okay.
Again, I am tired of talking. So this time, Patrick McDermott is coming on to the mic, and next, I'm just gonna fill you guys in on the next question. And this is the most overrated, stupidest question that DJs use and have been using for the last 100 years. Is who are some of your influences, and who do you like now? So that's it's going to be a past, right? Exactly. It's going to be a past and a future question, but it's a good one. Way overused.
Cool.
And that just shows you what a newbie.
Well, it's a very relevant question.
That I am. Yeah.
So,
yeah. All right.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, the nerves
Sean,
are back. Here we go. Okay.
Take the mic.
All right. This is a song called Sarah that I wrote, I think a couple years ago. Anyway. So. Sarah stays at home, staring at the phone. It never rings anymore. She doesn't lock the door. She's waiting for someone to come along.
Sarah tries her best, harder than the rest, but something's always wrong. Why is something always wrong? She never knows the answer. But oh, how she does try so hard to see. Why she's home but she's never free. Sarah looks outside, wants to fly, but it only ever rains anymore. What good is all this rain for? Well, she's waiting for the sun to come along. But oh, how she does try to understand. Why the world is not in her hands. Fortune strikes again, but Sarah's got a plan. She will not hide anymore. She opens up the door, walks right up to the sun and says, I will not wait for you. Oh, oh. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Well, my guitar got out of tune, but that's okay. That was fun. Appreciate that.
No, that was absolutely awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the nerves
All right,
came
so
back
Nick,
for sure.
pick up your guitar. Go ahead, you
All right,
goofball.
Let's do it.
Yeah, goofball.
Let's get Nick up there. So again, everyone who is listening right now, thank you so much. This is Jim Sobo. This is the Howling Coyote Tour Radio Hour. Thanks to Mr. Matt Santos and Mile High Radio. The Howling Coyote Tour, again, takes original independent singer-songwriters to the San Francisco Bay Area every single year and showcases them for the last 13 years. And thank you to the radio stations, and thank you to the press over the years. And you can check it all out at www.howlingcoyotetour.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Nick, have at it, my friend.
All right. Dog scratching my keys over there. Yeah, this is one I wrote a few months ago. I don't know. It's here's this.
Days fly by and they feel so fast. I spend my time just thinking about time, counting each minute, make sure I'm living it. Just watching the house go breezing past. I keep watching the TV when no one can see me winning. The minutes go by, then I take my new place and I look at my face in the mirror. He's some other guy. When it's all too fast, you walk past and then time stands still. Time stands still. There was a time before you and I hours took minutes, the minutes were seconds. But none of that mattered the minute I met you. Let those days go by. I keep counting my blessings to see if they're mess in my mind. Yet here you stay. And I know what you're feeling when you catch me stealing a glance. You don't have to say when it's all too fast, you walk past and then time stands still. Time stands still, yeah. All too fast, you walk past and then time stands still. Time stands still, yeah. Time stands still when you walk in the room now, baby. Time stands still, yeah. Time stands still.
All right, Nick Canuel.
Thanks.
Solo in that, man.
Thank you.
Okay, some rock and roll
I didn't
going
have
on.
you. I had to do something.
here.
Yeah, I know. I like what you did better than all the things I've ever done. That was nice.
Figure something out.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh, nothing like humility.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you, everyone out there in Radio Land and Podcast Land, and Mr. Matt Santos at Mile High Radio.
Yeah, I was going to say,
We
you
had another
plugged
question.
One more
here.
question. Do we have time?
Well, what time?
Yeah.
Do we have
mean,
time? Are you sure?
It can't be totally rigid.
Oh no, I
right?
got
It's
like
a
5 more
podcast.
questions, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah. I thought that was a good place to wrap it up, but if you guys want me to keep on chugging along like the caboose that I am.
I can stick around
All
for
right.
one more, I think, yeah.
So, very quickly, if anyone wants to see Sean and Nick perform, where do you go?
we're at
We're at the
Jersey
Point.
Lily
Oh, yeah.
in Prescott here every Tuesday night from 7 to 10.
Correct.
And then we're at the Point, about every other week, right?
Yeah, just about. I play at the Point a lot on Friday nights, 7
Sure.
to 10. And if Nick's not playing with his other band,
Right,
he's
I'm-
there with me.
I'm in a band called Little Larry and the Drive. I play lead guitar for. So any weekend I'm not at Jersey Lily with Larry, I'm at the Point with Sean. So
You just
Basically, go downtown
musicians
any
in this
given night,
room
you'll
right
find us
now,
somewhere.
people.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't think you understand what it takes to play every
No
single
sleep at
night.
all.
Right, exactly. Zero sleep, right. All right, Tommy.
Uh-huh.
Where can we see you? How can we find you? Where do you live?
Well, I tell you what, if you ever come over to the quaint little hippie mountain town of Jerome, Arizona. So I started 4 years ago now. It's been a full 4 years. I started the Jerome Ukulele Orchestra. So in the first year, we got noticed by America's Got Talent.
And that was not ukulele, people. That
It's
was,
ukulele.
That's right.
It's more fun to say. It is. And so next Thursday, we're celebrating our 4th full year and going into our 5th season. I also got written up in the cover story of Ukulele Magazine this month. So I've got worldwide attention now for the Jerome Ukulele Orchestra. I do a Beatles show the final Friday of each month. So I just did a couple nights ago. I did a Beatles show in Sedona.
You're going to have a conversation after this.
Yeah, I'm the Beatles dude
I'm
in
a major
Arizona.
Beatle freak, so
Are
let's-
you?
yeah, let's-
Oh, you should have been there.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's almost offensive. So
Really?
Yeah.
Let's get.
Let's-
hey,
let's
That's why
chat
we're
after
here
this.
tonight.
Our
together.
living room is just covered
That's why
in
we're here
Beatles
tonight.
paraphernalia.
Oh, it's stupid. It's all
It's
my
hilarious.
we
Yeah.
are making friends.
Yeah. And aside from that, just playing a lot of shows.
Where do people go to find you?
You know what? Go to TommyRocks.net.
Thank you.
.net and then
Thank
.com. I own a music store in Jerome called Tommy Rocks. So TommyRocks.com is the music store. TommyRocks.net is me, the musician.
Tommy's got a net and a com.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost sounds offensive. I don't know. And yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
same. Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you basically
You can
you're
catch
with
Sean
Nick.
solo
Yeah.
outside of
Yeah,
the duo, though,
exactly.
more than you can catch just the two of us, too. Where
True,
else do
yeah.
you-
I play around town. I play at Elgato Azul once in a good long while. Now that I think about it, that's been a bit. I play at the Meadery fairly often,
Yeah.
every couple months.
Yeah.
I play some of the like golf clubs around here and stuff.
Yeah,
if
no.
you happen to be that
no,
fancy.
No, no.
Granite
Yeah,
Mountain,
you gotta
too, right?
start-
I play Granite
Brewery?
Mountain,
Yeah.
brewery on Cortez once in a while, probably once every couple months there. Yeah.
Yeah, just in case people don't know, sometimes musicians have to take jobs that they don't like.
That's true. Yeah, a gig is usually
Oh,
a
man.
gig. There's exceptions, but yeah, a gig's a gig. I won't name the place that I played at for 3 weeks and quit. That wasn't
Oh,
quite,
yeah, I know
quite
what
in
you're talking
Prescott,
about.
a little bit outside of Prescott, but yep.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So
I played there, too.
yeah.
All right,
how I
so
don't
I
now.
guess we're just soldiering on.
And
So
me.
yes, tell
Not a visual thing, Jim.
It got really quiet, and then everyone
Soldier.
pointed at me.
Oh, Jim, it's time to go to bed.
Doing great.
Okay, hi, Rosemary.
Hi, Jim. Here.
Sorry about that.
That's okay, man.
Okay, Rosemary, where can we find you? Where do you live?
Well, I'm posting my events on Facebook, so you can find me Rosemary Tracy Erickson on Facebook. I do post my gigs there. I'll be at the 11th Mark's Beer Garden with Tommy and Jim this month. I'll also be the 19th at the Meadery, Superstition Meadery, our award-winning meadery in town. And then 222, I actually am playing the Capitol Canyon Golf Club. So, and it's going to be great. So, yeah. So 222, that's my number.
111. We're playing on 111, and then you're playing on 222.
Oh, that's weird.
Look at that.
That's some
Very
good magic.
weird.
So, yeah. So check it out there.
All right, so here we go. Next question, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now, who are some of your influences? You know, since you happen to have the mic at this moment,
Yeah.
Ro. Who are some of your influences, and who do you like now?
Who are you talking to?
Rosemary.
Okay.
To me, some of
Yeah.
my influences and who
Sorry.
do I like now?
I
Oh,
said
man.
Ro.
Oh, I thought you said bro.
I
thought you said bro, too.
I was like, this is not helpful.
Yeah. That was because we're that close, actually.
Oh,
that I
man.
can just use the first two letters of her name.
Let's see. Some of my influences. I have to cite a lot of female songwriters because as a female, you search for the other women songwriters. So I listen to a lot of, oh man, I dug Courtney Love. I loved Hole. I thought that was just so gritty and different. I got into Ani DeFranco a little later in life for the same reasons. Just good songwriting.
Yeah,
but I
Ani
mean,
is like, that's just
yeah, and I
mind-blowing
hate to
stuff
bring
there.
gender into it, but I did, at that time, like you go for the female songwriters. But as far as growing up, James Taylor, love that guy, love his lyrics. We listened to a lot of that kind of stuff. The Eagles, I think you said the Eagles too. Yeah. And then now, who am I listening to? Gosh, I'm trying to listen to.
Who are your influences? Like, who do you think has weaved their way in your songwriting?
Definitely James Taylor, definitely a little bit of Ani, and a lot of blues too. I try to go for the reality.
I hear some Ani.
So-
Maybe that's
Yeah.
the wild child that's inside of you.
I like the way she works her
great.
voice.
No, there's some. In fact, I just came back from Austin and I saw somebody named Sophia Johnson who plays Texas swing, but she's just moved here from England and she's English, and she always dreamt about moving to Austin and playing swing music, and she is nimble and she's quick, and she already got wrote up there. It's crazy. Check her out, guys, because she is absolutely
That's awesome.
amazing. All right, next in line, Nick.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Hang on,
Okay.
wasn't there
so,
a part two to that? I thought there was a part two to that question about.
This is who you're listening to
yeah,
now.
who you're listening to now, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Thank you. See,
Yeah,
everybody's got a
absolutely,
buzz
yeah.
Sobo. So
It's a
you
good
just got
question. It should-
you just
it
got a
deserves
buzz
both answers.
Sobo consolation gift actually on your way
Well,
out.
thank
You'll
you.
be getting a stuffed animal
Oh heck yeah! All right.
and a Howling Coyote
And a
Tour
real one.
T-shirt.
It's
Oh,
a
great.
magnet. Put on your fridge.
That is a new rule now on the Howling Coyote Tour
There you
Radio
go.
Hour
Door prize.
is bust
that's a good
Sobo.
one.
Nice.
If I don't stick to the format,
Yeah.
you can bust me and win stupid stuff.
So who are you listening to, Rose?
So nowadays, I'm kind of trying to get back to the songwriting. There's a lot of techno influences in music, and I'm trying to just find. So I'm actually going back to a lot of '90s songwriters. I love Dave Grohl and everything he's done with the Foo Fighters and the B-list that he did with, God, I can't think of the album now, but he's just so inspiring. So I'm kind of actually digging into the 90s a little bit more.
Nice.
Isn't that great when you get the inspiration to just go on this different flow?
Yes.
You know, I do that almost every day.
Cool.
But I mean, some days I just want songs from New Orleans.
Yeah.
Another day I think about Tommy and I want to play like Jellyfish and Toy Matinee and these obscure like pop bands and it's so cool. It is. It's such a big part of my life. And I just interrupted, as I always do. I'm so sorry. It's a combination of ADD and
You're excited that this first show is rocking.
and being old. Yeah. All right. So Nick.
Hi again.
What's up? Sorry.
No, it's all good.
See?
It's
That was
organic.
where
It feels
that's where
real.
The bust Sobo constellation gift came in is when I actually tried to say hi before it was your time. Yeah.
So influences for me, I mean, I've been a Stevie Ray Vaughan fan since the minute I started playing guitar. He's why I play guitar. Like he was it started with John Fogerty. Fogerty started it and Stevie ended it. Like there was no question when I moved on to him. It was like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do forever for the rest of my life always. There's only 5 albums, but they're never going to get old. You know, or 4 technically if you just think studios. But it was, and of course I mentioned the Beatles earlier. Like the Beatles I'm the type of guy, I can name any Beatles song off the first note and I can prove it. Any single one off the first note I can name it because I make my friends do this and none of them think it's
Anything
as
off
cool as I do.
Anthology, like
Dude,
you could just hit it.
We should be roommates.
I know, right?
We should.
Well, Sean and I already are, but we'll talk.
I think you ought to do a contest right now.
Oh no. No, but after
Jim
this,
can't
after
get the
show.
licensing for that.
Yeah.
I can promise you that.
God has spoken.
Yeah,
One note, you can't. ASCAP's not going to get you for one note.
Right.
that's true.
I don't think so.
See if we can-
Yeah, no, absolutely. Pull up any Beatles song, I promise, as long as it's not one of the sitar songs, because those don't count, because they all start the same. But any of the other
True, they
ones.
have the
Right.
Yeah, they all start. But
Challenge Tommy now.
So
Right
Beatles
now.
and Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'm down. If one of you guys want to start pulling up Beatles songs on your phone, I can do this. But Beatles, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Like I said, John Fogerty. I had a kick with Aerosmith for a while there when I was a kid, where I decided that they were the
Who
coolest thing in the
didn't?
world. Right?
Exactly.
Aerosmith is the best. And then AC/DC is another one of my favorite bands of all time. I am in love with Angus Young and always will be. And it's just all whatever, sounds interesting at the time. Whoever can play in a way I'm not thinking of,
Yeah.
And
I
the
actually hear
current-
all of those people when you play lead.
Angus definitely makes sense.
There's just
because
there's a
lot
teeny
of
bit of
like
every single one
mixolydian
of those
in there.
people.
Yeah.
Every time that you play lead.
I've got the Beatles song.
Oh, here, pull it up. Any Beatles song.
I'm gonna play it through the mic here. See if this works.
Just one note.
I'm gonna give you just the very beginning.
The night's not over yet, so.
Okay, Nowhere Man.
Oh,
Come on,
that's-
Nowhere Man's an
yeah,
easy
that's-
one.
Yeah.
That's an easy
Yeah,
one.
hit me
Okay.
with something like
That's
I
easy.
Feel Fine.
No, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get to somewhere.
Something tough.
Yeah.
Something tough.
I mean mine.
So let's
Yeah,
Something
Yeah,
obscure.
give me something. I'll Let It Be or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's different because that's just a note. It's got to be the
recording.
Beatles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Right.
Oh, that's Ballad of John and Yoko.
There you go.
Yep,
Yeah. No
yep.
problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Easy.
Yep.
Very good. Okay.
But so what I'm listening to these days, I'm listening to a lot of guitar player guys like Tommy Emmanuel, for example,
Sure.
who may be the best guitar player who's ever lived. I mean,
Acoustic. Yes.
yeah, there's no one else like him. Tommy Emmanuel, and then right now I'm on a project that Jim, you might actually be interested in. Is the thing I've called the Century Project. I decided to start in 1917 to listen to an album per year through now. And I just got to 1983 the other day, I think. And what is 83? 83 is, I don't remember what it is, but I just did Judas Priest and then Iron Maiden. I think I might be on Squeeze? I don't remember what I'm on. Squeeze is great.
That's our band.
But so I've got an album per year, and I'm finding all this cool stuff I never thought to listen to, like Sister Rosetta Tharpe and Sinatra's concept album and stuff.
Amazing.
It's a really cool thing. Actually, I
Amazing.
should send you a link.
Talk about an audiophile.
It's
I know.
fun. It's
I
really
thought I was the
fun.
greatest audiophile.
It's
ever.
really you love it.
You're
This
great,
is totally
Jim.
up your alley.
You're great.
Okay. Tommy.
All right. Well, so just really quickly. So when I was growing up on the farm, there's no music out there. But in the Sunday newspaper, you would see this thing for Columbia House that said 16 cassettes for a penny, right? And then, so I didn't have much money, but I had a penny. I was thinking, this is a great deal, right? So I'm looking at Steely Dan, and it's like, oh, they misspelled Asia. And it's like, oh, Little Feet, she's got a tomato for a head. And I click that, and it's like, Allman Brothers, it sounds like almonds. So I click that, right? There's still huge influences in me. Steely Dan for sure. Beatles, I never got into the Beatles until I was later on, right? And but now I'm the Beatles guy in Arizona. So Beatles are a huge influence. Steely Dan's a huge influence. Todd Rundgren is one of my favorites. I was just backstage for Todd Rundgren a couple months ago before my beautiful girlfriend Joan and I flew to Hawaii. So we were backstage for Todd Rundgren, and then I met his son over in Hawaii. Todd Rundgren just continually evolves. So that's what I try to do, is just continually evolve. Who I'm listening to these days, Todd Rundgren, he's always ever-changing. Chris Thiele, right? Yeah. Chris Thiele is my boy.
Is he hosting an NPR show now?
He is.
Yes.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
He took over.
He took over Garrison
so.
Keeler's show.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
He changed the name. I can't remember what to call it now. But
Yeah, and I was very fortunate. We got
Live from here.
Live from here.
Live from here, it's called now. Yep. And so in fact, I just saw him the other night. Johan Glidden is a Prescott musician.
Love that guy.
He was over at my house the other night.
Yeah.
The
yes.
Sugar and the Mint.
Yep, Sugar and the Mint.
And the
Fault Lines. They're
And the Fault
excellent.
Lines.
Massively good players.
Yep. So they got to play the main stage at Telluride this year, and I was fortunate enough. I got the call to go up and play Dobro on the very first song to open up the stage at Telluride Bluegrass Fest this year. So playing Dobro, which is not my main instrument, but I held my own, but freaked me out.
Yeah,
freaked me out,
you
dude.
You tell Tommy Anderson do anything, and he'll just do it.
Well, it's sink or swim, right?
He'll just do it.
And so you learn how to swim just by getting thrown in. So yeah.
Sean.
Yeah. So
who are your influences, and who do you listen to now?
Yeah, well, the people I listed that my parents were playing are all things I loved that I still love. I will have to single out John Mayer as being the guitar inspiration, though. I heard his early stuff, the acoustic work he did early on.
I didn't realize because I've been seeing street musicians just play a lot of John Mayer. Younger people.
Yeah,
I didn't realize the influence that he had, and I mean, I think it was kind of like whether we liked her or not, Sheryl Crow, when she barreled through,
I like Sheryl
she
Crow.
kind of that was called a AAA format at that time. Like you'll hear a Sheryl Crow song, then you'll hear Little Feat, and then you'll hear Squeeze, and then you'll hear John Mayer.
Sure,
And it was they were mixing it all up.
I
think that in a strange way, John Mayer really had this exponential influence on a lot of.
I can't tell you.
Because there wasn't a lot of great stuff coming out, and he was just kind of being very honest about what he was doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's just the quality of guitar work has been so consistently high throughout his career.
Yeah,
I mean,
so many
you can like his pop or dislike
genres,
his pop or whatever, but the musicianship is absolutely there. So I started playing guitar, really trying to figure out how to play Neon, and I still can't play Neon, but I can do everything else for the most part that he does. Not as well as he's doing it, obviously.
And it's like, strangely, I don't like that song of his.
Oh, funny. Yeah. Oh, you're like the first person I've talked to that doesn't like that song. That's funny.
St. Patrick's Day is a great song.
Oh, St. Patrick's. Those chords. That's one of my acoustic tester songs. You really get the full voice of the guitar playing those. But John Mayer, and also at the time Jason Mraz, I was very influenced by, more honestly as a person than musically. I listen to his music a lot, but I adore the man for his philosophies and attitude towards life, and he really practices what he preaches in every way. So, but now I'm into really weird things. I got into Radiohead about 5 years ago, and it's just gone really downhill from there. So I listen to a ton of hip hop. So I listen to like a bunch of Kanye and Kendrick Lamar and those guys. I got really into very very ambient kind of psychedelic electronic, like glitchy. Bon Iver is a really big one for me. Anything that guy does is good in my book. James Blake, those kind of people. But I try to listen to as much of a range of things as I can. I can't get into metal, but otherwise I'm listening to everything. So yeah,
it's just all out there. You're just soaking it up.
There's so much quality happening right now. I mean, you look around and it's there. Yeah.
All right. Next, I think it's time to start all over. Tommy Anderson. It's time for you to play a song, sir.
Time for me to play something.
Yes.
Okay.
I may have to be getting out of here. Sorry. Yeah.
You want to have Tommy play us out?
Yes, please.
Please. Yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
So, again, we've been around the room. I think you know where to catch each and every one of these individual amazing singer-songwriters, original.
I ought to say, I forgot to mention this. You've been saying my full name all night, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
My name is Sean Patrick McDermott, and that's what my music is under Spotify and iTunes and things like that.
Yeah.
So you can look that up there. The song I played is on there and some other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why because
Yeah,
there's
thank you for doing
Sean McDermott, and it's not the same guy.
You won't
so.
you won't find
No.
it that way.
No.
Yeah. Well, there's
he's a coach.
He's a
I think
coach.
He's a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a pretty famous coach. Yeah.
There's also an opera singer. Funny enough.
Is there?
Yeah, there's an opera singer too.
So thank you, everyone, for listening to the first ever Howling Coyote Tour Radio Hour. Thank you, Matt Santos, for allowing this to actually happen on Mile High Radio. Please do listen to all of his podcasts. Unbelievable influence on so many people around here. And thank you to all of the artists that came out tonight. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Sean.
I'll take it.
Oh, my God.
Now he's
Okay, now I get a consolation gift because I'm just an idiot. All right. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Nikolai. Thank you, Tommy.
Well, thank you, bro.
Thank you, Joan, for actually just hanging out the entire time, and John, and just supporting a couple of knuckleheads here, who decided to do music full time. And thank you to the universe for allowing original singer-songwriters to get out there, still be appreciated, still be loved, and may original independent singer-songwriters always have a place in everyone's hearts. My name is Jim Sobo. I'm going to sign off, and Mr. Tommy Anderson's going to go ahead and play us out tonight.
Amen.
Good
Hey,
night.
and you know what? I just want to thank you for having us all out here tonight and supporting musicians that do this stuff. And so I'll be checking you out on Spotify.
Thanks, man.
I should mention that I just released 3 songs in the last month and a half here. So they're on iTunes and, Spotify and everywhere. Amazon, Google, all that stuff. So here's a song, though, that's not released yet, anyways. So I wrote this for my beautiful girlfriend after not even a couple weeks into our relationship. And I was playing this on tour when we went on tour in California.
Yeah, unfortunately, none of us ever stopped hearing about Joan the entire tour.
That's right, the entire tour.
And he
Young
was
love.
just jonesing on her the
Young
entire
love.
time. So I was a little nervous. We actually slept in the same bed once. So,
Yes, we did. We had to. Yeah. Yeah. But that's right. But we met on the 4th of July. So here's a song I wrote for Joan on 4th of July.
What would it be like if you could be 16 again? Have a girlfriend, walk around holding hands. The difference is you could still be this old, 16 again, and knowing all that you know now. "16 years old, but now you drive a fancy car, have all the money you want, you own 20-some guitars. 'Cause in real life, you don't have to be as old as you are. You can be 16 years again in your mind if you want." Every day's the 4th of July, and every night fireworks light up the sky. Wake in the morning and do it all over again, and every day now, and every day's the 4th of July. Every day's the 4th of July, and every night fireworks light up the sky. Wake in the morning, do it all over again, and back on this year, I remember when January was so cold and Valentine's Day I was alone. And March month went on marching on by. In April birthday I was high and dry. Then May and June turned into July, and that's when you found me. And every day's the 4th of July. And every day's the 4th of July, and every night fireworks light up the sky. Wake in the morning and do it all over again. Every day now, every day's the 4th of July. The 4th of July. The 4th of July. The 4th of July.